Have you ever imagined a young man taken from his homeland, forced to live among strangers and serve a foreign king, yet despite all the hardships, he remained steadfast in his faith? This young man is Daniel. His story is not just one of survival. It's a testament to unwavering faith, divine wisdom, and immortal courage. Daniel wasn't just a captive in Babylon. He was a beacon of hope and integrity. With every trial, his faith grew stronger, turning him into an enduring symbol of perseverance. From interpreting enigmatic dreams to surviving against impossible odds, Daniel emerged as a hero who has inspired generations. Get ready for an epic journey where faith meets destiny, where miracles unfold, and where divine truth is revealed amidst the shadows. Let's delve into how Daniel faced unimaginable dangers, unraveled hidden mysteries, and witnessed divine intervention in the most astonishing ways. In an era of great empires and powerful kings, Daniel was taken captive to Babylon, torn from his home in Jerusalem, and thrust into a world filled with new challenges. Amid the opulence of the Babylonian court, Daniel and his friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, were selected to serve King Nebuchadnezzar. From the very beginning, Daniel stood out for his wisdom and discernment, qualities that set him apart from the other young men. When the king ordered everyone to partake in the royal food and wine, Daniel made a bold request. He asked for permission to follow a simple diet of vegetables and water. Although this seemed like a risky choice, Daniel had unwavering confidence in his God. 10 days later, Daniel and his friends appeared healthier and stronger than those who indulged in the king's delicacies. This display of faith and obedience was only the beginning. Soon, Daniel would face an even greater challenge: King Nebuchadnezzar's disturbing dream. One night, the mighty King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream so vivid and unsettling that it left him gripped with terror. The dream was an enigma, a heavy shadow that refused to reveal its meaning. In desperation, the king summoned all the magicians, enchanters, and wise men of Babylon, demanding not only the interpretation of the dream, but also the revelation of the dream itself. An impossible request, a death sentence for them all. But then Daniel stepped forward. Knowing the gravity of the situation, he requested time from the king and gathered his friends for a night of fervent prayer. They sought God's mercy for the revelation of the dream's secret. And so, in the quiet of the night, the mystery was unveiled to Daniel in a vision. At dawn, with a confidence that could only come from divine intervention, Daniel appeared before the king. He described the dream: a colossal statue with a head of gold, chest and arms of silver, belly and thighs of bronze, legs of iron, and feet of iron and clay mixed. This majestic yet fragile figure, struck by a stone cut without human hands, symbolized the empires that would rise and fall and the eternal kingdom that God would establish. Nebuchadnezzar, awestruck and overwhelmed, fell prostrate before Daniel, acknowledging that Daniel's God was truly the God of gods and the Lord of kings. Daniel was elevated to a position of great honor, but his journey was far from over. For not long after, a new threat would arise, and this time it wouldn't just be a dream at stake, but the very lives of his closest friends. As Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom continued to flourish, so did the king's pride. In a gesture of pure vanity, Nebuchadnezzar ordered the construction of a massive golden statue in the plain of Dura. He decreed that all his subjects must bow down and worship the statue at the sound of music in a solemn ceremony. Anyone who disobeyed would be thrown into a blazing furnace. However, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Daniel's close friends, refused to worship the statue. Their unwavering faith in God prevented them from bowing before any idol. When word of this reached Nebuchadnezzar, the king was enraged. In a fit of fury, he commanded that the furnace be heated 7 times hotter than usual and that the 3 young men be cast into the fire. Bound and led to the furnace, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood firm, declaring to the king that their God could save them. But even if he did not, they would not worship the statue. The heat was so intense that the soldiers who threw them into the furnace died instantly. Then something extraordinary happened. Nebuchadnezzar, astonished, leapt to his feet and exclaimed, "Didn't we throw 3 men bound into the fire? I see 4 men walking freely, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." The young men were unharmed, and a divine being was with them, shielding them from the flames. The king called them out of the furnace, and everyone saw that not even the smell of smoke was upon them. With a mix of fear and awe, Nebuchadnezzar acknowledged the greatness of the God of the Hebrews. Have you ever felt the weight of difficult decisions or the uncertainty that challenges your faith? In moments of darkness and doubt, the teachings of Jesus Christ offer an unparalleled light. Imagine facing daily challenges with divine guidance that not only strengthens you, but also transforms your life in profound and lasting ways. We present to you the practical guide to overcoming daily challenges with the teachings of Jesus. This guide is more than just a read. It's a source of spiritual power that can change your life. Discover how to apply the timeless teachings of Jesus to real-life situations, finding solutions that go beyond the surface. Click the link below and let the wisdom of Jesus guide every aspect of your life, bringing clarity, hope, and renewed confidence in the future. Time passed, and the kingdom of Babylon saw the rise of a new king, Belshazzar, the son of Nebuchadnezzar. Belshazzar was known for his pride and irreverence, traits that would lead him to a fateful end. On a night of decadence and extravagance, Belshazzar hosted a lavish banquet for 1,000 of his nobles. Drunk with power and wine, he committed an act of supreme blasphemy. He ordered the sacred vessels from the temple in Jerusalem to be brought in for use at the feast. As the king and his guests drank and toasted to the gods of gold, silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone, something terrifying occurred. A hand appeared out of nowhere and began writing on the wall of the palace. The hall fell into a deadly silence, all eyes fixed on the mysterious words that appeared before them. Mene, Tekel, Parsin. Belshazzar's face turned pale, and fear gripped his heart. None of the kingdom's wise men or enchanters could decipher the meaning of the words. In desperation, the Queen Mother reminded the king of Daniel, the man who had interpreted dreams and visions in the past. Daniel was quickly summoned to the hall. With a calmness that could only come from divine wisdom, he explained to the king that the words represented God's judgment on Belshazzar's kingdom. Men, God has numbered the days of your reign and brought it to an end. Tekel, you have been weighed on the scales and found wanting. Parsin, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. That very night, as the city was engulfed in the chaos of the banquet, the forces of Cyrus the Persian invaded Babylon. Belshazzar was slain, and the Babylonian Empire fell. With the fall of Babylon, the throne was taken by Darius the Mede. The new king quickly recognized Daniel's wisdom and integrity, promoting him to one of the 3 highest administrators in the kingdom. Daniel excelled so much that Darius planned to set him over the entire realm. However, this honor stirred envy and conspiracy among the other officials. Determined to bring Daniel down, but unable to find any fault in his conduct or work, they conspired against his faith. They knew that Daniel prayed to his God 3 times a day, so they devised a cunning plan. They convinced Darius to issue a decree prohibiting anyone from praying to any god or man except the king for 30 days. Anyone who disobeyed would be thrown into the lion's den. The decree was sealed with the king's signature, making it irrevocable. When Daniel learned of the new law, he did not change his prayer routine. He continued to pray on his knees, with the windows open toward Jerusalem, just as he always had. His enemies, lying in wait, quickly reported him to the king. Upon hearing that Daniel had violated the decree, Darius was distressed. He spent the entire day seeking a way to save his faithful servant, but the laws of the Medes and Persians could not be revoked. Reluctantly, Darius ordered that Daniel be thrown into the lion's den. However, before sealing the den, Darius said to Daniel, "May your God, whom you continually serve, deliver you." The night was long and sleepless for Darius, who fasted and could not rest, tormented by the fate of Daniel. At the break of dawn, he hurried to the den and called out anxiously, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you continually serve, been able to rescue you from the lions?" Darius could hardly believe it when he heard Daniel's voice echo from the den. "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me because I was found innocent in his sight, nor have I ever done any wrong before you, O king." Overwhelmed with immense joy, Darius ordered that Daniel be lifted out of the den immediately. When Daniel emerged, there was not a single scratch on his body. Daniel's unwavering faith and divine intervention were evident to all. The king then commanded that Daniel's accusers, along with their families, be thrown into the same den. Before they even reached the bottom, the lions overpowered them and crushed all their bones. But Daniel's story does not end here. His faith and wisdom continued to influence the kingdom, and the visions he would later receive would shed light on the future of empires and the end of times. King Darius issued a decree to all peoples, nations, and men of every language throughout the land, declaring that the God of Daniel is the living God, and his kingdom will never end. Years passed, and Daniel continued to be a man of profound faith and wisdom, serving under different kings and empires. It was during this time that he received a terrifying vision, one that transported him to the depths of the sea, where 4 great beasts emerged from the waters, each more strange and powerful than the last, symbolizing kingdoms that would come to dominate the earth. The first beast was like a lion with eagle's wings, but its wings were torn off. It was lifted from the ground to stand on 2 feet like a man, and it was given the mind of a human. This represented Babylon and its king, Nebuchadnezzar, who was humbled and then restored. The second beast looked like a bear, raised up on one side, with 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. It symbolized the Medo-Persian Empire, which conquered 3 great kingdoms in its expansion. The bear was told to devour much flesh, representing the ferocity and hunger for conquest of this empire. The third beast was like a leopard, with 4 wings of a bird on its back and 4 heads. This symbolized the rapid and vast empire of Alexander the Great, which was divided into 4 kingdoms after his death. Dominion was given to it, illustrating the speed and breadth of the Macedonian conquests. The fourth beast, different from all the others, was terrifying, dreadful, and exceedingly strong. It had large iron teeth. It devoured, crushed, and trampled everything underfoot. With 10 horns on its head, it symbolized a future empire, more terrifying and destructive than the ones before, a kingdom that would spread chaos and devastation. But among these horns, a little horn emerged, with eyes like those of a human and a mouth that spoke boastfully. This little horn represented a ruler who would rise to challenge heaven, but his end was already decreed. Daniel was perplexed by the vision and sought to understand its meaning. As he pondered these grand and terrifying visions, the heavens opened again to him, and a new revelation was given, one that would bring hope and clarity about the final destiny of humanity. Amidst these disturbing visions, Daniel, with a heart burdened by the fate of his people, turned to God in prayer and fasting. He sought answers, understanding, and above all, divine mercy for Israel. In his prayers, Daniel confessed the sins of his people and pleaded for the restoration of Jerusalem, the holy city. Then, while he was still praying, the angel Gabriel appeared to Daniel, bringing a message of hope and revelation. Gabriel came to give him insight into the future of his people and the holy city. Thus, the prophecy of the 70 weeks was revealed. 70 weeks are decreed for your people and your holy city, said Gabriel, to finish transgression, to put an end to sin, to atone for wickedness, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy place. The vision outlined a period of 70 weeks of years, a total of 490 years, during which crucial events would occur, from the issuance of the decree to rebuild Jerusalem until the coming of the Anointed One. There would be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. After this period, the Anointed One would be cut off, and the city would face destruction once again. But at the end of the 70 weeks, there would be redemption and everlasting righteousness. This prophecy pointed to the messianic future, a time of great hope and restoration for Israel. As Daniel pondered the profound meaning of this prophecy, even more remarkable visions were yet to come. Visions that would not only clarify the immediate future, but also offer a glimpse into the end of times, where God's kingdom would triumph over all forces of evil. Daniel, now advanced in years, remained a faithful and devoted servant of God, carrying with him the wisdom accumulated through decades of service and divine revelations. In one of the most significant moments of his life, he received a final vision, a revelation that encompassed the ultimate destiny of the kingdoms of the earth and the establishment of God's eternal kingdom. In this vision, Daniel saw a great conflict between good and evil, a cosmic battle that transcended earthly realms. He witnessed the rise and fall of kings, the persecution of the holy people, and the celestial intervention that would bring about eternal justice and peace. The images were vivid: angels warring against evil forces, saints being protected, and finally, an Ancient of Days seated on a fiery throne, presiding over the final judgment. And then he saw the glorious figure of the Son of Man, coming with the clouds of heaven, receiving dominion, glory, and a kingdom that would never be destroyed. This Son of Man would gather all peoples, nations, and languages into a kingdom of peace and justice. The dominion of human empires, with all their flaws and corruptions, would be replaced by the perfect kingdom of God. Daniel, both perplexed and awestruck, recorded these visions, understanding that they offered not only hope for his people in the present, but also shed light on the ultimate fate of humanity. These revelations, laden with symbolism and divine promises, stood as a lasting testament to God's sovereignty and Daniel's unshakable faith. The story of Daniel is a timeless narrative of faith, courage, and devotion. In a world full of uncertainties and challenges, his life serves as a shining example of how faith can overcome even the most insurmountable obstacles. Through his wisdom, bravery, and above all, his unwavering faith in God, Daniel not only survived, but thrived, leaving a legacy that resonates to this day. As we reflect on his journey, we are reminded that true faith can never be shaken, regardless of the circumstances. Daniel shows us that trust in God can elevate us to unimaginable heights and protect us from the greatest dangers. His story is a beacon of hope, illuminating the path for all who seek to live a life of faith and devotion. And so, the story of Daniel, with its miracles and mysteries, continues to inspire generations, teaching us that true strength comes from an unbreakable faith in a God who never fails. May we all, like Daniel, find the courage to hold fast to our faith, no matter the trials we face, and trust that God, in his infinite wisdom and power, is always with us, guiding and protecting us on our journey.